All right, welcome again to Sports Globe Live this evening, Sports Pulse Monday. Of course, this is another one of our show that we started, recently, but we think we have some ways to go, and we are getting used to it. Sorry if we were a little bit late, and if you guys were waiting upon us, but it is how it going. We're just starting up everything, and I'm sure you can understand. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us this evening. Wherever you are in the world, want to thank you for coming on to Sports Pulse Live. It's a Sports Globe feature program that we do on a Monday. And we try to choose a topic that we think is topical during the course of the week or during the course of the day, or something that we are among ourselves is just talking about. So, as usual, I have my brethren with me, Rudy, Olympian, great Grenadian. Man, Rudy, welcome again, boss.
Yes, man. It's always a pleasure to be on with us. And this is awesome. To remember to like, share. To tell your friends, tell your neighbor that we are on live talking sports as usual. So I'm looking forward to the discussion tonight.
Yeah, man. Every Monday night at 9 o'clock, of course, we'll have some discussions among ourselves, and we want you as our fans to join in with our discussion as well and let us know. But this evening we're going to go straight into it, Rudy. This evening we're going to be talking about, of course, world athletics. Made a decision in barring some athletes from transferring from one country to the next. This is a
Yes.
transfer of allegiance, Rudy. From one country to the next. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What is it? So we have our own arguments with it. We have our own conversation with it. I'm sure Rudy have his, and I'm sure I have mine. And I'm sure you as our fans have yours too. So, remember to leave us your comments this evening. Tell us what you think about the conversation that we're about to have. But Rudy, what are some of the things happened last week that caught your eyesight? And one of the things that caught my eyesight is Elaine Thompson coming back, running 10
Yes.
1097, I think, or 1098 that she run
Yes.
on the
Yes.
weekend.
Yes. Yes.
Looking
Yes.
really good too. I really love that. I mean, we here think that she would never be, back there. We did say it one time already with our doctor friend, Dr. Paul, right? I mean, I don't really think that she's going to come back to 10-5, but running 10-9s and 10-8s. Dr. Paul did said that too. He said that she will be able to get there, but not to go back to 10-5. But let's see, because it's early season and people running even 10-7-7. Rudy, what's on
Yeah.
your
That
mind?
that
You're
But
thinking.
for me, I'm certainly Richie to see Elaine back. Nothing is surprising anymore. So if she run 10-5, 10-6, ten
Yeah.
four, surprise me. Because when you see athletes like that come back after the type of injuries,
Mm-hmm.
that is certainly a good thing to see them not giving up. Many people do give up on the career after certain
Yeah.
injuries because doctor may tell them you can't come back again, or people may say to them they can't come back again, but to see her coming back, that is something awesome. But to see 1077 at this time of the year, when listen, a few weeks ago we talked about 1098 and we said my goodness,
Yeah.
1098 and of a high schooler, and
Uh-huh.
what's happening. But then you start seeing 1078 and it's like, what is going on? And then you see, the United States put a team together. Don't even know if it's an A team, a B team, a C team, whatever
Yeah.
team. And they run 41. That's
Yeah.
like, what is going on? And then you see three, not one, three American teams went 47, 37 point. Three of them. And you're like, what is happening? It surely um, ties in the discussion we're about to talk about,
Yeah.
especially when you watch a relay team with that's 12 guys running, each them a part of a team running 37 points, and it's only four of them guys that can move on. It is certainly will come back to the same discussion that we are going to
Yeah,
get
it
into, in terms of
it
what
certainly.
happened to the rest of
Rudy,
them.
but
You know,
Rudy, what caught me this early in the season. I know we don't have an Olympic or World Championship this year, no major
yeah,
thing at all. But just that everybody is showing signs of good health, and running fast. Because even on the men's side, we see the 60-meter indoors that just completed a while ago, just now, is looking really good. The guy that won this
Yep.
indoor 60
Yep.
meter, I can't
Yep.
remember his
It's
name
still
right
running.
now. Yeah, he run 998 or 990 something,
Yeah.
997 on the weekend
Yeah.
as well.
On the weekend.
And
Yeah.
that is really looking good. I say
Yeah.
all of the Jamaican, they're really looking really, really good. The really civil run at at 200 meters on the weekend as well. Came second. It
Mhm.
wasn't his best time, but just because it's preseason and that kind of a thing, the time that he run, the guy's looking good. Everybody
Yeah.
looking really, really, really,
Yeah.
really
I
great.
think I think the surprise part for me is seeing we haven't seen. I'll go back even to the indoors, and I said to you some time back, it's been a while since we have seen so many top world class athlete Olympians and them compete in the indoor season. It's been a very long time we have seen that. Now we've seen a whole slew of them is competing during the indoor season,
Yeah,
which go back to the topic again that we're going to discuss why it has to come down to finances, right? So certainly so we see that finances is the key thing now because that's their daily job, just as any other sport. They have to compete to get to make the money.
yeah,
And so that's really what it is, and so there's a lot to dive in here, but these athletes are running. It's almost you need to see a major games this summer. It's almost you need to see something major in
yeah,
the
yeah,
summer
yeah,
where
yeah. The way they're
there is
running.
not anything. The way they're running is either they bust out soon because there is nothing happening this summer per se, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So that could be really what a part of
But
the
then, but
training
then
strategy.
But
But
then Rudy, it goes back to something that is important, and it might form a part of our conversation and what we talk about this evening. But before I say this, let me just remember to invite persons to leave their comments, share your comments with us, and tell us what has been the thing that you have seen since the track and field season start. The Reggae Girls had played Guyana too, and they give Guyana a full of beating as well. So that was something that happened on the weekend as well, Rudy. So the
yeah,
Women's World Cup, qualifiers is going on. Let's see how far Jamaica can get. Everybody expecting them to qualify. So let's see what can go. But yeah, but what I'm saying is that now that you see the athletes looking like everybody wants to compete. Now world athletics and the Olympic movement, nobody have anything going on. And the athletes
yeah,
looking like they're searching for something to do.
yeah,
I know the
yeah,
leagues are going to come up later on in the summer and stuff like that, but this early in the season, you can see that people want to work. The athletes want to work. The trumping
yeah.
at they want to work. They want to earn. They want to get out there and showcase themselves. But again, you know, the powers that be and the people who run these organizations don't see it fit to see that these people want to work. They want to work. It's clear that they
Yeah,
want to.
no, and the fact that they want to work and they see like and we're seeing the quality of performance. Is it time to say there should be a better a league turn track and field into a league? The Diamond League is not enough. If I may say the right word, the Diamond
Yeah.
League is not enough. Certainly not enough for that. Um, so because we are seeing the slew of athletes, the Diamond League could only take certain amount, and we have
Mhm.
seen the slew of athletes right now that is competing, which tells you that something is missing.
Mhm.
Something is missing.
Yeah.
So certainly
Yeah,
either
man.
NACAC need to come together with the rest of some of the federations and start saying we need to have something that is bigger than the Diamond League. They need to have something else. But the key issue again, we're going to discuss it in a little bit, is funding and finances. That is certainly is a key, and they have to fix it somehow. Somehow it has to be done.
Rudy, they don't need to find a way. They don't need to find money. What they need to do is they need to create the opportunity so that the athletes can get to work. That's what it is.
Yeah.
They need
But
to
then that
create
and that
the
was a
work.
disappointment. But that was a disappointment with the Michael Johnson. um, league that he had in. Now that's no
Yeah.
longer there, due to everything. Come the disappointment of some of the partner who partner with him and then they pull out. That was certainly was a disappointment, and that's the situation that we are in now. I know events like that adds on with the Diamond League would have been helpful for us as track and field to see some good competition. We're missing out on that now due to that situation. So he creates something, and it seemed like he was targeted,
Yeah.
so that thing will not happen. And then here we come now in the situation where we have athletes who just performing to the highest level, and there's no showcase for them. They can't be
Slowly.
shown. And if they do show, is nothing where they're getting paid for it, and that is well deserved.
Rudy, Cleveland Cavaliers, the Raptors are beaten also. That was something, but the Raptors said they will be able to bounce back. I'm expecting them to bounce back and get into their games and get and make the playoff a bit more challenging. Everybody thinking that Cleveland is going to give them a total wipeout and thing, but I really don't think so. I think the Raptors have something up them sleeve, and it might just be another year. Like the year that they won. Who knows? Because the youngsters are nobody
I like
expected them to
well
nobody
that.
expected them to be in the playoffs at all. Nobody expected
Well,
them to be there.
I think people did. I think the way they were playing to be in the playoffs, because we are seeing that beating some very very tough teams.
But everybody
Um,
was saying it's
when
early
when
season
when
thing.
but yeah, but then it adds up, right?
Yeah.
Because in the end, the more win you have, put you in a better position, right? And then
Hmm.
they understand that. But the big surprise is not the Raptors losing. The big surprise is Detroit losing.
Detroit
That's
losing.
the big surprise.
Yeah.
Detroit losing to Miami, the number one seed, who have
Yeah.
been slaying everybody all over, has lost the first game. That don't mean anything. They can come back. They are playing 7 games, but that tells you that, hey, anything can happen when it comes to playoffs. It's a different ball
Definitely.
game. It's a total different thing, and don't take teams to qualify for granted. That's what it says.
Yeah.
Because listen, everybody's tired. And when a team make a playoffs, they are hungry, and you have seen the hunger in it. We see it in many sports, in football and basketball and American football. When a team make playoffs, don't think it's a blowout. It's not. They are hungry to go on to win a title because they have an opportunity to make it to move on. So that's why you see the hunger from them, and you'll see a lot of that happening. So when you'll see some disappointment. I have my team that I think that could win the NBA championship. I mean, my team is not in; they get out. But I am certainly going with San Antonio to win the
San
NBA
Antonio.
championship. I really think that these young boys, they are looking really good, and they have a beast as a leader in there.
Yeah.
So let us see what happens.
It's a funny film still, is it? Someone says some more Raptors, don't it?
Raptors are my team. Raptors have never been my team. I've support them,
Yeah.
but I'm not one that jumping on the bandwagon. Even when they win the title, I was happy to see that happen.
Yeah.
But it wasn't my team because they lost to my team. They want to. My team lost to them. I'm a Golden State
Yeah.
Warrior fan. So yeah, definitely.
Hey, Sports Globe family, remember to jump in. Share what your thoughts is, any performances this week that you would have seen. Tell us, what you would have seen and highlighted this week in terms of sports, and let us know what was on your mind. What was your surprise this week or last weekend, or what you're looking forward to. I mean, we here in Toronto were kind of disappointed that. I mean, I've never been to a hockey game, but Maple Leaf never make it through at all. At all, it's kind of thing. I don't want to talk aloud, but hey, listen,
To be
man,
honest,
things happen. I can't understand. But
that was a
I can't understand
disappointment. That
Rudy.
was a disappointment. That was a really big
Big
disappointment.
disappointment, man. Major
And
disappointment.
it's certainly it's I have 2 teams in the league, and that is my number one team. And I was going with them all year long, and it's just like after that, it's like, man, like what? Like what is it? But no, as Canadian, we still have 3 teams that is in. We have Ottawa, Montreal, and I think we have the Orioles is still in.
Yeah,
So that is good. There's an opportunity that a Canadian team could win the Stanley Cup. So let's root for them and let's go for them.
Toronto going like them are the big thing and the whole thing,
Big
them are the
dog.
problem, them are the comment size, but
Listen,
them
it's
some of
going
the
like
run
the big
through.
dog, and then it's like, yeah, 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 yeah. And it's like that, man. It's like, when you watch the sport, the
Yeah,
disappointment is every time, year after year, you see that, oh, they have to win 15 out of 20 games. You shouldn't be there in
yeah,
the first place. We have
yeah,
seen it in baseball over the past years. We see it in hockey. We have seen it in basketball.
yeah.
Out of the next 7 games, they need to win 4 out of the next 7. We've seen that all the time. And I'm saying you shouldn't be there. You should be in the
Yeah.
playoffs without trying to fight to make it in. But that's part of the game, and
Rudy,
that's how it is. So
another major thing in sports, is not a sporting event, but is sporting personality. Noel Lyles and General Bloomfield got married on the weekend, but
yes, yes,
it
yes,
was it
yes,
was
yes.
it sparked a bit of an interest in terms of when his wife came out and he saw her in the dress. So the entire social media was all over his wedding and talking about something that he did. I mean, the comment that he made in terms of his wife coming out and him say, wow, something or another about his wife dress, and people never like it at all. And everybody kind of again the stick feet totally, totally, totally. But the thing is that they got married, they're happy, them loving them like, hey, listen, me personally, if Janelle have no problem with what him say or whatever, I don't care. As long as the
But,
two people happy, but people just
people
take
is
everything
people.
out of
People that take
context and
everything
run
out of
about it,
context.
and
And
you
that's
know,
really what it is, right? And tell the truth, I bypass all of this little piece of what he said and what the social media saying, because a part of it too is some of it is jealousy, right? So people are
so,
going to speak,
so the first thing I
people are
say,
going
no,
to speak.
Rudy, I say,
Yeah, a whole
one
bunch
of
of it
them
is
black
jealousy.
American
Listen,
girl, one of them black
and
American girl,
yeah,
must get jealous, and I say, yo,
they're
why not all
jealous,
the way in
man.
Jamaica go find a girl? You
Exactly,
couldn't find a black
exactly.
American.
Yeah, man.
You go all
Hey,
the way
man,
in
listen.
Jamaica go find a
it's
queen,
it's
and you
it's
couldn't find
it's
one
jeal-
a week.
it's jealousy, man. And my take, this is
Yeah,
my take. They always say, the groom not supposed to see the wedding dress until the day. So
yeah,
probably he didn't know. He didn't have a clue what she was going to wear.
yeah,
So maybe that was the shocker. His comment maybe based on, yeah, I'm seeing this for the first time, and
yeah.
that is the reaction that you want. It might be
But
a good or a bad reaction, but you want a reaction when the person
hey,
come out. There is a reaction.
Rudy,
So his reaction
yeah,
is
man,
his reaction. In the
of
end, the
course.
man get married, man. The man married. So leave a man alone.
That's it.
Leave a man
What's
alone.
important. What's important to me is that these two people love each other.
And that's all that
Them defend
matters. Yeah,
Janelle come out and she come
yeah.
on social media and she defend her husband.
But of
Comment
course,
and
it's a
looking at us
husband.
say, yo, you guys will never even see the full thing, but you just a talk about one
Yeah,
little clip on
but
the
that's
see
what
him
I'm
to
saying.
run
And
off.
that's
And she defend him to the T. Even when Jamaica did come out against Noel, she defend him to the T, so you must know, so yo, them two people here have something going with them. So me I congratulate
I
them, me I
mean,
big them
listen,
up, me I give them all of the
they've been
support and love what them I do.
they've been all over the
And
social media,
yeah,
an influencer, and they've been there. They show their love.
yeah, man.
It wasn't hiding, so one little thing don't change, their marriage on the
No,
day. You know what I mean? So it's just foolishness. Like I said, it's a jealousy thing. People
but
just jealous and they want to
you know
come out
what,
and say something. They didn't say
Rudy?
nothing. They didn't say nothing when tears come up from the man eye. They not say.
No,
They didn't say nothing about that. But they said they look at the negative thing.
yeah, yeah. Well, guess what? They wanted the thing to be very public. No, everybody will make it even more public for them. So the more you talk
Yeah,
about whatever
yeah.
it
The
is,
more you talk about it
to stop
is,
him from love her, not
listen,
stop her from loving you. Just promote him.
hey
He's
man,
achieving what he wants to
congratulations.
achieve. Yeah,
Congratulations to them.
yeah, man.
Certainly, we do want them to last,
Forever, man.
for forever, and that's what we should be, hoping and praying for them, that they last forever. And
Yeah.
certainly, we are seeing, in spite of the rival between those two countries, there is still love,
I tell you this in a Rudy. If you see the
and that's
video and
really
if you
what
see
it
the
is. Yeah.
reception, it's pure Jamaican music them
Only
dancing to.
Jamaican. But
Pure Jamaican.
all we
So
done,
now we're gonna learn all the Jamaican
Elaine,
dances and all them things that
Elaine,
they ready.
everybody was there. They all was there.
Everybody
They
was
all was
there.
there. No, yeah,
Yeah,
everybody was there.
yeah,
So
yeah,
so
man.
it was good. It was good. Yeah,
It's
I'm
all
happy for
love,
them.
man. I
I'm
just
happy
think
for them.
that the black I just think so the black American girls, them just jealous. Them go find a woman somewhere and never choose none
I
of
never
them.
never look on them. I never and when you think about it now, them never say
And
nothing, you
them
know.
vex.
But when the social media going on everything, when they put it out there, nobody say nothing. The minute they get married,
No.
they have something to say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They want to
go
get
on, man. I jealous of
serious.
them. I jealous them jealous, man. I ain't nothing
I
else.
jealous, I'm jealous, jealous, I'm jealous. Anyway, hey, Sports Club fans, remember, hey, leave us your now and last congratulations as well. We don't want to hear the problem and we don't want to hear the issue. Why you leave us your Noah Lyles and Jenna Bloomfield or Janelle Lyles now, right? Because she changed her name and everything on all our platform, you know, man. Everything changed out in her road. She's fully Lyles
Yeah, man.
right now.
Yes, yeah,
You
lies.
understand?
Yeah, I'm
So,
gonna blame her.
leave the
She should.
congratulations as comments, and big up the couple. I love to see when these young people, because I hate to see when them get together and then 6 months to a year down the road everything fall apart.
Everything fall, everything break up.
Yeah,
So suddenly, yeah.
so I want to bless them up and continue bless them up. Remember this evening, guys, we're talking about the transfer of allegiance. Of athletes from country to country. Is it something that you think they should be involved in, or athletes, what you think about the decision of barring them from moving to the country that they want to, apply the trade into, or they want to work for? What you think about all of that? Leave us your comments. Tell us what you think, because this is what we come to discuss. Rudy, I have the question up this evening, though, in terms of, do you believe that the sport of track and field is a professional sport based on all of the things that you see now? You have been there, you have participated in it, you went to the highest level of it, you are a coach now and thing. Do you think track and field is a professional sport?
There's two parts to my answer on that. It's a professional for some, but the overall, it is not a professional. And I say that because if you let me use a doctor. When you go to the process and you become a doctor,
Yeah,
half is not a doctor and the other half is not. They're all doctors. And that's what we see with track and field. When you go through your process and you make it there, some, maybe 10% of the track and field world are professional where they make a living from it. And the other
yeah.
90% is struggling with the sport and struggling with it and struggling to make a living. So I in a if I have to put it on based on my numbers, I would say no. The track and field is not a professional sport.
What makes it? What make it? What are the other? What are some of the factors that you see in the sport that I'm going to tell you my one before I even ask you that question.
Yeah, but
I really,
we comparing
I really,
professional. Well,
yeah,
we comparing professional at this level in the sport, and when we get to the highest level in the sport as the Olympics, when track and field start, the Olympics start, and you hear this from many people, and people who love sports on a whole, they love track and field, especially when it comes to the Olympics. People
yeah,
turn on the TV. People who never watch it regularly, but they turn on the TV when it comes to the Olympics on track and field. And then you see the other sports is evolving now. Basketball, the swimming, and you see other little sports coming in. But when it comes to that, um, and because of that, you have all the other sports have a league. There is baseball in the Olympics. There is hockey in the Olympics. There is basketball in the Olympics. There is soccer or football, as we call it, in the Olympics,
yeah,
right? And they all have a league, and track and field do not have
yeah.
that. They don't have what they carry. They don't have what they have. They don't. So it's not. And that is my take on that, because professional is not only in the area of just going out there and running. Anybody can go out there and run fast,
Yeah.
but then what? We have a 17-year-old that run fast. At one point before that happened, she was number one ranked in the world, and that
We
was a
have
few weeks
right
ago.
now, Rudy. We have one 18-year-old now who is the fastest in
Yeah,
the world in high
an
school.
18-year-old that is the fastest in the world. And
Yeah.
what does that mean? And we have an 18-year-old that's playing hockey. We have an 18-year-old that's in the NBA. We have an 18-year-old that's playing soccer. You
Yeah,
go back
many
to the
18 year
European
old.
countries, there's many of them, and
Many
they
of them.
actually has that's the career now.
Yeah.
That's the business now. But when it
But
comes
track
to
and
track
field,
and field, it's no longer there because it's not designed for that. It's not designed in that manner for that to happen. And then I would say no, it's not because of that reasons. So let me hear your reason.
all right. So here's my take on track and field as a profession. I know track and field is one of the last sports to become a professional sport because that's been amateur for a long time, and I really think
Yeah,
even today.
still
So
amateur.
putting money in it doesn't make it professional, right?
No,
That is just one aspect of it. Is that people getting paid? But is track and field athletes getting paid? Are they really getting paid? Are people just sorry for them and put a prize money? It's just a prize money. You're not getting paid. Professional, anything at all, any job you have that is a professional job, you're earning a salary, you're earning
a
a pay.
salary. Yeah, yeah,
Track and field, you're not earning a pay, right? You're only getting a performance bonus or a sponsorship. Those are just some little part of the whole thing. If you look at every other sport, people get paid. In football, people get paid. You get paid to play the game, right? In hockey, you get paid, not just a sponsorship. And then when you win a championship, you get money. You get paid to go out there every day and perform, right? In basketball, same thing. The NFL, same thing, right? You think about any sport you can talk about, right? People get paid. In track and field, you don't get paid. Period. Nobody now get no salary. The only person, as you said, that is getting paid is those executives that is operating these organizations. They are getting a salary every day,
yep, yep.
right? I mean, like in Jamaica, the jury cheers would want to tell us that, oh, they don't get a salary. But I would want to think that is not true. There's nobody who would give in this, nobody can tell me nothing. Nobody in this lifetime would be giving so much energy and
And
spending
time.
so much time with something that they're not taking home something from. And it's not just about getting a plane ticket to fly to the Olympics or to fly to the World Games or to fly here or to fly there. I don't think it's that because that is not worth it. A lot of these guys have much, much more better careers that is delivering for them much better than that. But people put aside them career in track and field to go and do these services that them claim that them do voluntarily. There's no voluntary nothing at their level, right? But as I always say, the people who are the sport or who are the factors in the sport don't get paid. All them do, them give them a prize money, which
Yep.
is like, hey, listen, we make a little money, say a little piece of it, right? So they don't get paid, right? So how can it be classified as a professional thing? Only because the timekeeper is a professional timekeeper, him get paid, right? The marshals, professional people, them get paid. All of these people get paid, right? All of the equipments that they use in the up-to-date technologies that them have and all of that, all of them thing there is professional. But the only persons that is not being paid is the persons them who matters most.
Yep.
They don't get paid. So how can
Yep.
you say I want somebody to tell me who is getting paid? There's no athlete that can tell me that they're getting a pay, that they're getting paid. Because even US athletes, they're not really getting paid. Them getting a stipend. In Canada, they're getting a stipend.
A stipend.
You
Yeah.
understand? These countries give them a
Yep.
stipend, not paid.
Stipend.
They're
Yeah.
not getting paid.
Yep.
I don't know how they're going to do it in a Rudy, but they need to move it from amateurs because that to which they are talking about prize money, those are amateur situations. Those are things that you do for
Yeah.
amateur things, right? You get
Yep.
a prize money at the end of something. That's
Of
not pay.
something. Yeah. Yeah.
Sponsorship is not your pay, for the sport.
No, it's not.
Sponsorship is something that you give the sponsors something. They're riding on your
And you. And you.
property. They're
Yeah.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
riding on your property, and they're
Yeah.
giving you something. It's like you have your yard, Rudy, and somebody want a businessman down the road want to put up a sign in your yard for advertising business, but you
To
charge him
advertising
for erect
business.
the sign there and
Yeah.
advertising business. That's all the
Yeah.
sponsorship is. Sponsors not
That's what
paying
sponsorship
people.
is. Yeah.
But in
Yeah.
athletics, people use sponsorship as if that's supposed to be your pay. That's
That's
not
supposed to be
supposed
a
to be
pay.
your
It's
pay.
not
You
a
don't
pay.
work for
No.
sponsorship.
Yeah.
Sponsorship come as a byproduct. of you, not a sponsorship. So I don't know what people getting, everybody getting so excited about professionalism in track and field. There's no professionalism in track and field. Don't talk. Period. No professional. Because if the man them who are work now get paid, then where's the professionalism? The executives alone getting paid. It can't be
Listen,
professionalism.
we
There's
you know
none.
we talk about professional, and if you go back and look at the NBA, you have players who is not even playing but still collecting a salary,
Because they're on the
and they've
team.
been
They have to
done.
get a pay.
Yeah, yeah. No, they're not even playing. Some of them retired and still
And they're
receiving a
still
salary.
receiving a salary.
A
Yeah.
salary. They're still receiving a salary.
Just to show you how
So
the things say that.
and then most of these guys, like you said, in sponsorship, they advertising for
Mm.
that company, and that's what it is with track and field. It's the exact same thing. So it is not unionized. It is not. It is just not. The
Oh,
athletes get hurt. Listen,
you touch on something there, Rudy, that I want to raise right here. Do you think athletes should be unionized, or the
yes,
sport of
yes,
track
they
and field,
should
the
be.
athletes should form a union? Because what I find, Rudy, and you can tell me what you think too. What I find is that athletes are not at the table. They are
No,
not there. In the
they're not at the
NBA,
table.
they are at the table.
They
They're
are at the
part
table.
of the
Yeah,
decision that the NBA
yeah.
make, right?
In
The
football, in
NFL,
basketball,
same
in
thing.
NFL,
In
everything. Yeah, they are at the
soccer,
table.
the
Same
same
thing.
thing,
They are at the
right?
table.
Cricket. And I'm going to tell you something. I hear some Jamaican, journalists and guys talking, and they're talking about, boy, cricket, the transition that cricket made. I remember when cricket was transitioning to the T20s, and everybody was saying, "Oh, this thing is going to kill the thing," including Michael Wallen is going to kill cricket. Cricket is not dying.
No,
Cricket is not
cricket is
dying,
evolving.
because guess
Cricket
what?
is evolving.
The players themselves. Listen, countries wanted to ban cricketers that was moving to the Indian Premier League when they started up. The countries, West Indies almost banned a lot of their players, that they couldn't go and play these leagues. No, T20 is the cricket of the day, not Test cricket, not limited overs. T20 is the cricket of the day.
T20 is
It's
the
what
cricket
people
of the
want
day.
to
Yep.
watch. It's what the players
And
want
that's
to
what
play.
people have to watch. And that's what the
Is
fans
what
want to watch.
is what
And
you're
it's about the
getting paid.
fans.
Of
Yeah.
course, is what is
Yeah.
paying you right now.
Yeah.
Even today, I heard there a news came out that Chris Gale is able to buy into a franchise, into a T20 franchise. I don't get to see the news item yet. Into a T20
Yeah.
franchise, so much so he
Yeah.
made enough money, and it is not because of West Indies pay,
Yeah.
but it
There's
just
an
shows
opportunity
you.
for that. Yeah. Yeah.
It just shows you where the executives are. They don't care about the
Yeah.
players.
They
They
don't
don't care
care.
about the sports people. And that's why track and field need to get union. I can't tell them this enough. They need to have an athlete union. Serious athlete union. That means when the Olympic associations want to make decisions for them, they are there.
At the table,
Right?
because it's
If
about
World
them.
Athletics want to make decisions
Listen,
like what they want to make now, they are there. Because
they're on
listen,
the table. Yeah.
if the athletes them not performing, there's no game, there's no Olympics, there's no World Championships, there's no Diamond League, there's no
There's
nothing
no
if
nothing.
they're not
There's no
performing.
nothing. Yeah.
So I am thinking that if they want to rise them stock up into the thing, they have to get together, and that's what is wrong with track and field from an
Track and field.
athletics,
Yeah.
from the
From an
athlete
athletic
standpoint.
standpoint. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They're not together. They need to get together because they are not at the table. They're not at the table. They're not represented at all. In
Yeah.
Jamaica, the J3s, or whatever they call themselves now, administrative, they have, I think, Michael Frater is there as a VP. But I don't know how much of representation he gets, because he's supposed to be for athlete welfare. That's what his function,
Yeah.
I heard it was for, that he was elected for athletes welfare. But how much of athletes welfare that he's representing, I don't even know if Michael Frater is doing much of that as a VP at all. So the whole thing about track and field, there's no professionalism to it, because even as such a big organization, such a big group of people, and there's no union, there's no togetherness
No
of
union.
the people who
Yeah,
are
yeah.
working. The people who are working, they don't have a body for themselves. Them don't have somewhere that they can come together and sit down and say, hey, listen, this is not going good for our sport. This is not supporting us. We want to talk about this, right? And bring the powers to be to their table to let them understand that, look here, we is the product, It doesn't matter who want for organized or not organized. We are the product. And it's the reason why Michael Johnson had to start his league, is because he recognized that the athletes are not getting any benefit at all from this
Yep, yep,
sport. The sport is not benefiting
yep,
athletes at all, at all. Nothing coming to the athletes.
yeah.
Everything is just about administration, administrators. So I really, when you look at many aspects of it, I don't see where the professionalism in it
It
is.
is. Yeah,
It is
yep,
only at one level. It's only at
yeah.
a corporate and an executive level. But in terms of the sport itself, there is no professional nothing to it. The athletes train hard,
Listen,
work,
every
and that's the
sport,
only
every,
professional things that is
every
to it.
Reggie, every major sport uh um has that, like I said, the professional part of it. What they're playing for.
Mm-hmm.
We see the football, they are playing for the cup. And all of this, like, again, come back to each player is being being paid, and they have a salary happening. You go to the Olympics, that's not the case. The Olympic is not designed like that. So let's put the Olympics aside because it's not designed for that. But the World Championships, anybody can make the World Championship
Yeah,
because you need X amount of numbers to make it in. So
yeah,
if you need 32, so you're gonna have the number one, and then you have the 32 person. You don't expect the 32 person to jump up and be in the top eight.
yeah,
Most of the time, you don't really see that happening. So you don't see that. So in hindsight, even though it's 32 of them is not getting a piece of the pie, as they said. They're giving prize money. They're not getting anything.
yeah.
They're not even getting a parents fee at the World
No,
Championship. They're not even getting a parents fee at the World Championship.
Rudy,
You
to
know,
show you
so
all the
so
thing bad.
so so that's how bad it is. You look at every other sport; they have a salary for the regular season. Every
Yeah,
sport. Right now, we're watching basketball. That's why teams want to make playoffs. That's why these guys didn't want to make playoffs because when you make playoffs, that's bonus.
yeah,
That's extra.
yes,
That is not part of the contract. The
yes,
contract is the game 1 to the game 80. That's contract right there.
yeah.
But everything else after that is a bonus, and that's certainly what you see, and that it is that we're seeing with track and field. You make it to the Olympics or the World Championship, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing for you for
There's
even making
nothing
it
for
there.
you.
Nothing for you
There's
there.
nothing for you
Nothing.
at all, Rudy. There's
Yeah.
nothing.
But I
Another thing.
am not. But I am not saying here and to young people, do not continue in track and field. That's not what we're saying. We are not
Yeah,
saying that. Do continue because it will change. It may not be today. And a lot of these leagues um, had changed years after. You see, changes has come. Change will come. And when we have in programs like this, it will reach the higher ups, and we'll see somebody making changes for something to happen. So continue on the path. Don't just say, "Well, there is no money." No, don't. Change will come. Change will come.
they need to
Certainly,
have
change will
change,
come.
Rudy. They need to have change. They
Yeah.
need to have change. I mean, there's even let's look at football compared to track and field because everybody's saying, oh, so football. Everybody is saying in track and field you have too much people to pay. Now, I sat down and I look at it and I said, but every single football team is 11 people have to play at any one time. In track
Only
and
one
field,
time.
is only one individual going up for a race each time.
Yeah.
Right? So a
Yeah.
country
Every
might be
event.
sending
Yeah.
only 3 person per event. For
Per
a
event. Yeah.
football team, is a whole contingent of people every
It's a
time for one
contingent.
match.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're playing week in, week out. They're getting a salary. Everybody on that team, all of the reserves, all of the man them will get sick and all of that and have to dip on the bench for all a
Yeah.
year.
Mhm.
All of them
Yeah.
get paid. Track and field, only 3 person representing the country. And the country is saying they can't even pay those 3 people
Yeah.
in a football. And then when I look at it, Rudy, For football have 11 people to a team at any one time on a pitch, right? Now, when you look at football in any country at all, you have different tier of football, and
Yeah,
all of that tier is being paid. So if
he's
you're
been paid,
League One, League Two, League Three, League what, the money might not be the same as Premier League, but
but
there is money
there's
being
a pay,
paid to
there's a
players
salary,
all the way down
there's a salary.
until it reaches down to schools. Where
Yeah,
right now for schools, they're saying they're going to have, as we always want to discuss, the NIL deal. So athletes are showcasing themselves to get. What's the difference between
to get
NIL
something.
deal and the professional athletics anyway? When you look at it, Rudy, now that we're talking, what's the difference between NIL deal and professional athletics? Because in NIL deal, athletes are getting paid for their images and
Yeah,
their promotion, right? That's
to
what
the
they're getting
sport,
a little. They're
to the
giving them a
sport.
little
Yeah,
money for that.
yeah,
In
yeah.
real professional track and field, what you're getting paid for? All you're getting is a sponsor, and so you're getting the
The
same thing as
sponsor,
an NIL deal, a student athlete, the same thing, because the event not paying any money.
you're not paying any money.
No,
Yeah, you're not paying any money.
you can just imagine, Rudy, if Usain Bolt did not come on the scene, where the purse money would be if you win a race. Remember, you know, when Usain Bolt came, that's why they raised the thing. That's why the price went up.
Price range. Yeah,
You
it
understand?
went up.
That's
Yeah.
why it went up. You know, when he left, the thing fell back down, you know, but it never got all the way back down to where it was. Because them
Yeah.
time the man used to get some $10,000 for win a gold medal at the World Championship, right? When Usain came, the thing went up to $250,000, right? When he left, it fall back down. You know, people talking about 100,000 and everything. They not got all, you know, got 200,000, 250,000 or more. Right? So you saying came and he did something for the sport. So money is in the sport. They're talking about, oh, no money. Money is in the sport. Somebody's getting it.
Mhm.
Somebody is getting that money. Right?
And
But
there's money
not
out there,
sharing it with.
and Richie, there is money out there. You're seeing, some people doing all kind of different sport, and they have been supported, and the
Of
money is there.
course.
Like, even let's go back to a sport like hockey. Yes, we love to see the thing, but men are fighting. It's like
Yeah.
a you
A
you you are
wrestling
you
game.
are a, you are a wife and seeing your husband get beat up, and they
And
call that
getting
a
paid.
sport,
Yeah.
and it's a
Yeah.
major sport. So you see all these things in there, and then you sit down now. Like, look at the basketball now. Basketball to me today is not like it used to be. The guy just
No.
shooting threes all the time. There's no more defense no more. There's no much of that like it used to be, and we are seeing guys are getting paid. In the end, is those guys are getting paid. Track
They're
and field
getting a
athletes
salary.
are not getting paid. Some of them don't even get a stipend. They are not
No.
getting nothing. They
Yeah.
are not getting nothing. They have to fund their own self. They have to do everything for their own self. They have coaches out there who've been coaching for the past 10 years with some of these athletes, and they get nothing. You
Yeah.
know, so it is something that, here's my question to you: how should they get paid?
Okay. So this is my creative thinking in and around track and field and how you can pay people, right? I see Stephen Francis and Glenn Mills get themselves in a club situation that never used to exist before, right? So they form themselves into clubs. Now in Jamaica, I'm pretty sure that a lot of even our high school athletes are having some kind of relationship with some of these clubs, even in high school as we speak,
Yeah,
right? They might not be getting the same professional training and that kind of a thing, but they have some involvement at some of these clubs. So here the thing is now, just like any team around the world that make their money from selling their properties in, and so they're selling the rights to, for companies to put
merchandise.
up their banner and merchant, all that kind of a thing. Track and field can do the same thing, right? These clubs now, so like Stephen Francis and all of them, they went out and let's seek sponsorship. They have NCB as a bank that sponsor the club. Now the club have money that they can filter down to the athletes, so the athletes can get something. You understand? And they have Nike as a sponsor of the club. So there is things that they can do like that, There's a lot of things that they can do. So all of those athletes that is into these clubs, right? They went out and they sell the different branding and properties and that kind of a thing, right? And raise money for the club so that they can give the athletes some money. So like Stephen Francis and them, some athletes come, they don't have nothing, but them when they're going home all the time, them have something going home with. When they start to make money now, I guess in their contract, as far as I'm hearing, in their contract, Stephen Francis and his club get a percentage of whatever your earnings is. It come back to the club.
Yeah.
You understand? So
But which
there's a
in
lot
all
of
what you're
things,
saying,
there's a
which
lot
is
of things
good.
like that that can be done.
Yeah, but that's good though. But in one, right, the club is for itself. And when the starters go there and compete, they're not competing for the club. They even though they go to a diamond league, they still consider them as the country where they're from. Even though they're not running for that country, but they identify as the country where they're from.
That's something
Because
that need to change.
representation is on I represent my country. So that's how
And
you
that's
represent.
that's something that need to change, Rudy. So maybe them need
So
to
so
change
the
it. When you run
question
in
is,
Diamond League, it's not about Jamaica.
it's not about Jamaica.
You're not
And they
wearing
and then
Jamaican colors.
okay, now we're in the Jamaican colors, but that name is always that flag or the name where they're from is always attached to the name. The club is not attached to the name. So the question for me now is for a second question: where do the federation comes in of those countries? How do they play the part for
These
that payments to come in?
these federation, Rudy, they shouldn't have any. They have no responsibility over these clubs at all. They have these clubs. This is their personal, private businesses. Just like Manchester United, right? This is Manchester United personal, private club. No, they are regulatory bodies, right? So the J3s would have been a regulatory bodies that regulate the sport overall. No, Manchester United operate under these regulations. You understand? So it
Yeah.
has nothing to do with the Manchester United money. Have nothing to do with the FA. The FA is just a regulatory body that regulate the sport overall. They promote the
But
sport. They regulate the
here's
sport,
my thing, and I get that, right? But
just like
if
the
an
NBA.
athlete, if an athlete is identified
Yeah.
and is being selected with a federation,
Mm.
should the federation support them for that year, that season? Should the federation support them for that season, for the whole year up until the end of the year? Should they be getting a salary from the federation for that season because they identify under the federation,
So
which put them
so
in a position where they can
so
compete for
so
that
this is
country
yeah.
when the competition comes up?
So this is my take. When you get selected for the country to run for the country, like you're running at the World Championships, the Olympic, the Pan Am Games, those kind of
Yeah,
things. Once you get selected, the country's supposed to start pay you because you get selected. So you are just the 3 or 4 persons. It's not like the 3,000 persons. So the clubs
yeah.
have their own thing. So just like when you Manchester United players, the World Cup is on us now. The Manchester United players who get selected for the English team, England have to take care of them while them out there competing for England. So that's additional pay. So they pay them a salary because they make the team. It's not like they're giving them a stipend. They get paid.
Yeah.
So once you make the team, once you get selected to the team, now the country can start to take them responsibility, right? But you belong
But
to a
but
club.
but 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 even on top of that, Richie, belonging to a club, I think this is what I think. I think if an athlete is identified, let me use my small country. Let
Yeah.
me use my small country as my beautiful country, Grenada, the land of spice, where everything is nice.
Yes, man.
So
Even though
let
you're
me
not
use
giving none of the spices, but
so let me bring up the spice, all right?
yeah,
My country, let's just use like we have three athletes, who is Olympians and who is representing the country for the year, and people
yeah,
feeling right. But we use three of them, and if
yeah.
they are selected, and that's what I'm saying. When you select an athlete, come January, we said that we have positions for looking at Grenada. We have 10 athletes we would like to to
Yeah.
get in and identify those 10 athletes. So you're getting 10. The spots are 10.
Yeah.
So right now they have to be able, in come January, to, or whenever the timeline is, to take
Mhm.
care of those athletes for the whole year, because you identify them. You're making sure that they are okay, making sure that they right now they're getting a salary. So you're
Yeah.
making sure that everything that they need for that upcoming competition is there for that year.
Yeah.
So government now have to come up and say, well, we have $1 million and these athletes, and that's yearly, and these 10 athletes, and you may not get 10, but I'm just using 10. 10
Yeah.
athletes are being taken care of. So look at that, 10 athletes, each one of them is 100,000 a year. And in that $100,000, medical could be a part of it, travel could be a part of it, but they're getting a salary every
Yeah.
month.
For making the
Or
team.
every holiday, they're making some. They're on this national team. They're on the national team. They can still
Yeah.
be part of the club.
Yeah.
They can
But
still
of
be a part of
course.
the club, because the concept of track and field is different from football. It's different
Yeah.
from basketball, right? The concept of it, because you need that coach, right? So, and that's just how I look at it. And I think that's where the issue is federations. The federations could identify athletes, and that's how salary comes in, and that's how we
Yeah.
know I am a professional. We have seen football players one season they are professional, and the next season
Yeah.
they're off the team. It's
Yeah.
it's it's we've seen it in every sport.
Rudy,
One
this is
season.
a
So
simple,
that
and
I
that's what.
think federations should be the one, is the one that I think should be stepping up. If it's World Athletics have to give the federation money, so that the federation could take up the athletes, and it's happening now. Then we could see now, is the sport professional? Yes, it is, because now they are getting. So you have to work, just as everybody else have to work to make a
Yeah.
team. Now you have to do the same work to be a part of the team, because basketball could only have certain amount on the roster. Football could
Yeah.
have certain amount on the roster. Certain amount they can have. They can't have more than the amount. They only could take in certain amount out of the 500 athletes.
Yeah.
Only X amount is drafted. That
Yeah.
is the protocol. If you didn't get drafted, you got to go work hard for the next season. And it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing, the same concept. That if a country, like I said, as Grenada, if they said five,
Mhm.
then guess what? You have to work to be part of that five. You have to really work hard to be a part of that five. You understand what I mean? So, and then you take care of that athlete for that year. No, they're on a salary. You know what I mean? Now they are
Yeah.
professional, and they behave as a professional. You use them as you wish. You use them to expand on the sport. You use them to do speeches. You use them because now they are under you, but they still have the club. They still have the stuff that they're training on, but they're representing you, and I think that's
Yeah.
what it should be.
So, and I follow that same reasoning, Rudy, with this. Is that because even today I was listening to some other YouTubers comment, and some guys from out of Jamaica, and one of the suggestion was is that somebody was saying that track and field need to start a league, right? We need to have leagues so that the athletes can work. And like no, like we said earlier, the athletes
Yeah,
they don't have any work. They're not working.
they
They
have no
want to
work.
work, right? They
Yeah,
want
they
to
want to
run.
work.
They want to
Yeah,
work.
yeah,
They don't have any job.
yeah,
Yeah. So, and that is the reason why I look at it and said, listen, man, what we need to have, or what World Athletics need to start to foster, is the development of the sport. So they need to start to foster developing track and field club, just like how we have NFL teams, which are really clubs, right? We have
yeah,
basketball clubs, we have you know
yeah.
soccer clubs, we have rugby clubs, and we have all of this. No, when you have a lot of clubs, that means athletes start to belong to a club. Athletes can now be transferred from club to club.
Transfer to club to
Instead of
club.
looking
Yeah,
to be transferred from country to country, we're looking to be
yeah.
transferred from club to
Club to
club.
club.
Right? So
Yeah,
like Stephen Francis no more, but you think Glenn Mills is offering Stephen Francis a good money to take, Rudy over to
yeah,
his thing and whatever, and that can they need to start looking at the thing holistically in terms of what
yeah,
professional sport is. Because just like everybody I hear commenting, and people who is making sense to me, as we start talking about the allegiance thing, people who is making sense to me is that people who is looking at the earning potential of what are the earning potential athletes have out there. Athletes
yeah.
they have zero earning potential. Zero. Because only three persons can earn. It's only
Yeah.
three persons can get a medal at the Olympics and the World Championships and the Pan American Games, which is the
Any
lesser of
games,
the three,
any track
right?
and field games, only three,
Because
top three.
The Diamond
Yeah.
League's really not paying much of our money.
No,
Right now,
no.
you jump on a plane and you fly to Europe, you must use up all of the money that you earn. Right? You're not getting much of our money. Right? Asafa Paul must have to perform for over 10, 20 years for look for be able to retire now and look like him have something, right? And run a couple of world records and that kind of a thing. But there's no structure in terms of how can an athlete earn. They're talking about running for country. Them loyalty days they done long time, Rudy. Sports people
From
can't be
time,
loyal to country. The
can we
loyalty
laugh for
country
country? Yeah.
thing done for man.
If
We loyal.
unless
Hey,
country,
I love Jamaica with
unless
all
listen,
my heart. Jamaica is my country. I
yeah.
love the Caribbean territories. I love the food. I love the music. I love the everything. But when it come on to earning people, you see, and this is the corruption that I don't understand with business people and the corporate world. They're bringing this thing named globalization, but they want to limit globalization to where you can go and work. If it's globalization, I supposed to be able to easily just get a working visa and come to Canada or
Yeah,
go to the US
yeah,
and work. A man
and
offer me
work.
a
Yeah.
job. The man have to prove whether or not 10 people that they can do the same job. Him like me, him prefer me. Him offer me get a visa for come work because me get the job. I win the bid for get the job. Right? My
Yeah.
resume is stuck up against everybody else's resume is much better. It's not about so you can't say globalization and then you are gonna talk about country. There's no country
But
with
that's but that
globalization at all.
but Richie, they do that in sports only. Now you see that they start these things in sports. We don't see it in other professionals. You have how many doctors in Jamaican doctors that is in other country because the
Yeah,
finances is there. How many other not that they don't love the country, but the finances
exactly.
is not in that country. How many Grenadian that is doctors and lawyers in other
And
countries
everywhere in the world. That's what I'm saying. Them
and
talking about
everywhere in the world, and they're not
globalization.
there, and they're not there, and then you have same thing with some of the nurses and even doctors and lawyers who is in my country from other country because
Yeah,
it's better where they at there than where they coming up from. People don't just leave. People don't leave because I like
it is.
something. The people leave because there's a better opportunity for them.
Of course. That's exactly
That's
what
what
it
it
is.
is.
It's a
It's a
better
better
opportunity.
opportunity for
Here the
them.
thing is,
It's
it's
not
not
because
even
they
that.
don't love something or they don't
No,
love my country or don't love what I'm doing. It's a better. We do it with job. I love my job, but guess what? This one over there is going to pay me more.
Rudy.
It's not that I don't love this one here, but this one over
Rudy.
there is going to pay me more.
Tell me honestly right now, is there any
Uh,
Caribbean national that you know if them was getting making the same money that they're making here today, if you'd have leave Grenada for come to Canada with making the same money that you're making in Grenada as you're gonna get in Canada, you think you'd have leave and come to
you're
Canada?
not living.
No way
No, you're
at
not
all.
living. I'm coming to what?
Who know go
Nah.
America? Hey, listen, I tell a lot of my friends back home and I say, listen, I can tell you something, right? Because when they come to these countries, people asking you what you doing here. Because them are save up them life saving for go which part you are
Yeah,
come from. Right? Just to show
yeah,
you.
yeah.
So
That's to show you. Yeah.
so I said to them all the time, I said, listen, you see, if we had an economy that is similar to here,
Nobody's
hey, they
going.
would have to get visa for come Jamaica all the
They have
time.
to come
America would
visa
have
to
to get
come
a visa
Grenada.
for come Canada. They would have to get a
Caribbean,
visa
listen,
for come.
Caribbean
Of
people have to
course,
get visa to come to your country.
to come to
We're
your
gonna set up a
country.
system. Country to country will
Yeah.
have a visa system. Yep.
They wouldn't need to give we a visa. They would have to beg us to come spend a holiday or come
Yeah.
spend a thing, come look on Disney World or come look. They would have to beg us to come. There's no way at all. So, the essence of the whole thing, athletes now find themselves that they want to make a career, and if the career choice and the career place that they want to practice their career cannot afford to pay them what they are worth, then they are going to go to other places to work
Money,
because
well,
it's
Richard,
not
money
working.
is one. Let me say this right. Money is one. And on that list, there is one Nigerian on the list of the
Yeah,
11,
I feel it.
and she's a phenomenal jumper. She is a
Yeah,
phenomenal jumper, but she have a problem with the federation
yeah,
of that country.
yes,
She love her country, but she have a problem with the federation
yes,
of that country.
Yeah.
So sometimes we speak about this all the time. Federations need to step up and build a relationship with athletes.
Rudy.
In
Rudy,
spite
listen.
of if they get,
I
listen,
hear you.
Richie, it's not about money,
I
you know.
hear you, Rudy. But
It's
like we
not
saying
about
a while
money.
ago,
It's not about
sometimes you have
money.
a boss. Sometimes you have a
Yeah,
boss, and you and the boss can't get along. But you want to
yeah.
move somewhere else. So if she and the boss for the Nigerian Federation can't get along, she should be allowed to go somewhere else
She should
to
be
practice
allowed to
her
go somewhere
craft.
else. She allowed to go somewhere
Because
else.
it's
And
not about the money for her. She and
it's
them
not
just
about the
can't get
money.
along.
They can just get along. She loved the
Exactly.
country
And
and they
she
can get
can have
along.
nothing to do with her
Yeah.
nationality at all.
I'm not to the nationality. In the end, she's still who she is. That will never change. I am a Grenadian. It
No,
doesn't matter. Nothing
of
you can do to
course.
me. I am a Grenadian. That will never, ever, ever change.
That can't change.
And
That's who you
and
are.
listen, and most Grenadians or most Jamaicans want nothing to do with the federation, want nothing to do with the government. Yeah, the government
Exactly.
doesn't make them who they are. You have you have people who don't want nothing to do with the government of the country, but they love the country, not
Yeah.
because of the government. You know what I mean? But they love the
No.
country. So it's so we have to be able to see that. And I think as we on this now, I
Yeah.
think there was a disappointment from World Athletics for that to happen. I don't think the explanation was good enough, and I think it could be there could be more clarity. There could be better explanation for us to understand where Turkey want to build more, get more medals and stuff in the world. No, Turkey have the money, and Turkey want to build a program.
Yeah.
That's how I seen it. And these athletes is hungry for the money, and that come back to what we started with. If there was a league, if there was better way for these athletes to be getting a
Yeah.
salary, because when they go to Turkey and the type of money they get, they would have been getting a salary.
Yes. I'm going to
They
tell you.
would have
I'm
been
going to
getting
tell
a
you. I'm going to tell
salary.
you. I'm going to tell you something that I'm going to tell you some things that some Jamaican journalists are suggesting, right? And I hear them, but I want to disagree with them. Is that some journalists are saying that, hey, so instead of the athletes transfer, why not Turkey come to Jamaica and recruit some coaches? And I'm
And not
saying,
to the coaches.
hold on, then Rudy, hold on. If you can recruit the coaches, why you can't recruit the product? If you can
Yeah.
recruit the teacher, why you can't recruit the students? If the teacher can go and go get a job, why the students can't go get a job too? What are they talking about? Recruiting the coaches. So the coach is more important than the product. That doesn't even make no sense to me at all. At all. I am saying
Yeah,
World
Turkey,
Athletics need
Turkey.
to sit down. They need to sit
Yeah,
down, look at track and field, and make track and field be a holistic professional sport for all parties involved, which most
my
importantly is the
Richie.
athletes.
Transfer of allegiance is not a new thing.
It's a long time.
It is not a new
And
thing.
that's why
It's been happening for a long
I don't
time.
even talk about that, Rudy. I don't even talk about that because that's going on long time. That is not
It's
even
been
track
going
and
on a
field
long, long
alone.
time.
That is
Yeah.
many sports, right?
You
I'm
understand
talking
me?
about
Yeah.
World Athletics need to stop doing the amateur foolishness that they're doing because it's just nonsense. Well, there's nothing about track and field that is making money. There's nothing about
Nothing about it. Yeah.
why would I tell my son to go train for 400 meters? You think it take 2 days to run 47, to run 46, and not even getting into 45 and 44, Rudy. To run
Yeah.
47 and 46, it doesn't take any little normal thing.
No. No.
You understand, sir? It is
It
a
take hours. It take hours. It
hard
takes a hard
work.
thing. It's
And,
hard
and,
work.
as, and
Yeah.
as one person says, there's no way you can be a professional athlete and have a 9 to 5 job. None. You can just imagine Usain Bolt had to be going to some job every morning and then have to be going to training later. We would have never seen
Richie,
him.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm just gonna use the United States and Jamaica. I'm not even gonna use England, Australia. Those are the big countries.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna use those two countries where we've seen it over and over. Where I recently started by saying the same thing. You have a USA team run a relay. You have three teams.
Hmm.
All three teams could get one, two, and three at any major games based on what they run.
Yes.
All three of them could go in. The World Championships have money for second and third place. So
Hmm.
all three of these teams could move on and get medals, but they could only take one.
Yeah.
And out of the one, they could only take six. And
Yeah.
out of the six, is only four of them that can compete. What happened to the other six? They don't get a
Nothing.
chance.
Them just
Nothing
there
happened to them.
wearing the country
They're just
color.
back home. They just
Them just wearing the
no.
country color.
They're just back home because they cannot make a team. You could only take certain amount. Out of the three teams that run in world class times, you could only take one. So you could mix and match. We could take six of them out of the 12. What happened to the other six? Jamaica have a slew of phenomenal athletes. Let's use female for an example.
Yeah, running 10
You could only
seconds.
take three. You have 10 of them that run in under 10 seconds. You
Under
could
10
only take
seconds.
three to any major games.
Only
What
three.
happened? Let's extend and say five. What happened to the other five?
Right
That
now,
is the question.
Jamaica have an athlete that is running phenomenally well right now. Um, Janelle Smith running
Yes,
fantastically well. She don't have a
fantastically
sponsor,
well.
so she don't have pay yet. She run the salary time. So
Yeah,
she study. So it's like you go study engineering and all of that, and you get your degree and everything, and you're on top of the pile, and you are on show, but the boss say him can't pay you. You understand what I'm saying, Rudy? So she not get no sponsor. So she not make no money, so she run up and down out of her pocket or out of her mother pocket.
yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's the dynamics. Yo, Rudy, Jamaica,
As
the
a
US
dynamic
have
about
these.
it.
They have these problems. You know, don't think
Yeah.
that is a Jamaica thing
Listen,
alone.
listen. The US, as we talk about leagues, the US could start out a league because of the numbers that they have, the numbers that they carry, the
Mhm.
number of states. 4, 5 states, 6, 7 states could have a league. We could have different meets every time, every month due to the pressure on their body. We could have 4, 5. We could have two meets. In a season, you could do all these things in them. All of this stuff for them can be done. Everything can be done.
Yeah,
It is time for track and field to get a reset,
yeah,
a readjust, and not only use the Olympics as track and field or use World Championship as track and field.
yeah.
Everything else falls on other people.
That's true.
World Athletics just really mentioned to those two. The Olympics is separate still from the World Championships. So you just
Yeah.
to be still, but we're putting them in the same bracket. That's it, and that's every 4 years and every 2 years.
Hmm.
Everything else with track and field, it's
Hmm.
on your own. Everything falls under you, but you are
Yeah.
using if you're doing it under the banner, under the rules and regulation. But everything falls on you. Every single thing. We recently have the character games. We see this young kids running world class
Yeah.
times, and they are 17, 18, 19, 20 years of age.
Yeah.
And what is in it for them?
Yeah.
Even going as far as the NIL deal. Even if they go to college and decide, well, there is something for them, there is no guaranteed.
They need to. They
Because
need to
now,
change.
because
To change
now
the
you look at
thing.
the NIL, you look at the NIL deal, and school's going to start looking at that. An athlete could come in. I can bring you in, Richie. I
Mhm.
am at the University of Memphis. I'm bringing you in under NIL deal, and I'm paying you X amount of money, and because they're paying them good money. So um, let's
Mhm.
just say I'm paying you $50,000 for the year. I'm just using that as an example. fifty
Yeah.
thousand dollars for the year. The season with college is only about 7 months.
Yeah.
So I'm paying you that, but you came in and you got injury.
Yeah.
No, I'm still paying you that. Still paying for your college. Still paying for you. You know what I'm saying? And then you sit down. There is no benefit for me
Yeah.
no more. So certainly there is a lot of it that need to be changed. The concept of it need to be changed. There need to be a reset with World
Yeah.
Athletics, a reset with the Diamond League. There need to be a reset and make things better and
They
beneficial
need to.
for
They
the
need to take a
athletes.
look at it. Hey, Rudy. See, we have some comments coming in here. You know. Jamaica have a wagonist culture, which is true. Fans wagonist all the time. Jamaican fans
Yeah,
are wagonist, but I
yeah,
can't even blame
Wagoners. Yeah,
fans. Them have a reason to be a wagonist. Them need to be more supportive of them teams. But here,
yeah,
what the people, the powers that be, need to really get up and start marketing the thing. So people don't necessarily have to be a wagonist. Yeah,
yeah.
people only be awareness because it's only sometimes them get to see the greatness of the thing. Can them jump on
But then, but
politics
then,
going,
but then, listen. What this person saying there is certainly right. And again, we're looking at football. That if
yeah,
you turn someone into a league, you will get the support of the people. If it
of
become a
course.
league, and like I said, because in the in England, they don't follow athletes. They don't follow football players. They follow the team.
Yeah,
It's the team. That's I listen. I am here, and I don't even care who's on Manchester United. I am a Manchester United fan.
yeah.
It doesn't matter who is on the team.
Is there the
So
Manchester
when
United
so when
team?
that's my team. I am a
Yeah.
Golden State Warriors. That's my team. It doesn't matter who is on the team. So when we see that, but we see like a lot of these people and them want to be
Mhm.
bandwagons only when things are coming around and then there's no support for the
Hey,
athletes and then there's all this
hey,
stuff, man.
hey,
So
listen, tell this fan that
one
you think
second.
people live in paycheck to paycheck. I see Chris Brown come to Jamaica and I don't see no paycheck to paycheck at all, at all. So I don't know what he's talking about. So
Nah, man, people
money is
don't
out
live.
there,
Those
man.
listen,
So
those
paycheck to paycheck.
professional. If
Government
you
need to do
if you
things, yes.
call,
And I say,
yes, listen,
I
Richie,
would be the first to say government need to do better and pay people better. But
government need to step up with those athletes. But I'm saying this to this one fan. We are talking about professional. We are saying
yeah,
that these athletes are professional. And then when you compare professional, you compare them to the likes of all professionals in
hmm,
sports. And
yeah.
track and field is the only one that don't have a salary.
They don't have a pay.
You don't
At
have
least
a
some
weekly
paycheck.
paycheck, at every two
Yeah.
weeks paycheck, every day pay. You
No.
listen. You break down LeBron James and you break down the games, or you break down Messi on the
Well,
game. You could break it down to the game.
this is one more thing we need to put in there for track and field in a Rudy. That's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah,
why I even start out whether or not track and field is a professional sport or not. Because this is another thing. Track and field is so deep in secrecy in terms of money. Everything
yeah.
about track and field is there's no way you can get to see a track athlete contract with a sponsor. No way. I don't even know whoever can see a track athlete sponsorship arrangement with any sponsor. In many other sports, those things are announced publicly. Yes, you're sponsoring the thing and we're spending extra amount. Maybe they don't tell you every single detail of how the money breakdown is, but they tell you. People know how much LeBron James is making.
That is
People
from the
know how
second.
much Michael Jordan make from way back
Yeah,
when. People know how much
yeah,
Kamala Anthony is making. People know how much Tiger Woods is making. People know
yeah,
all of
yeah.
these things, but track and field, and that's why that started out. And I said track and field is not a professional sport because it doesn't operate as a professional
As
sport
a
at all.
professional sport. Yeah,
No,
yeah, certainly.
there's
It
nothing
operates
professional about the sport.
it operates in amateur, and that's what you're getting. You're getting the amateur out of it. We're getting the
Yeah,
amateur out of it.
yeah. What I'm saying is the public is who supporting the. Oh, I get what you're saying. I understand. Yeah, I support what you say. I support what you say, family. Is the people who supporting the thing doing it. The government and the
Yeah,
sponsors that are not doing anything. Is
they're not doing
them little
anything.
paycheck. Is them little paycheck going
Yeah,
towards supporting the sport.
yeah,
Because they're not doing nothing. They need to
yeah.
step up. They need to step up, man. Really appreciate you chiming in. And I love what you hear. Say Toronto Maple Leaf, hockey team. Rudy, you want it?
Hardly make no, my children. They hardly make playoffs, but the
They
game is
only make
always
player,
sold
but
out. Their home game is sold out.
but
It's
Rudy, them
sold
is one
out.
of the
We have
richest.
seen
Them
the
is
same
one of the
thing.
richest hockey
The
team.
one, they are the richest hockey
Them
team.
is the richest hockey team, and them not even
It's
making the
hockey
play.
team. And I'm making the play. And then you hear the fans come and say, I'm done. There's no more. But next year they're back and they're getting a jersey. Next year they're back
Rudy,
with a new fresh everything. Yeah.
Maple Leaf fans don't done. Them just vex, but them not
They're
done.
vexed. They're
Manchester
not done.
United, Manchester United, same thing. Them don't done. Them just
They're not
vex.
done. I was
You
vexed for
understand?
years. Now I'm
Them there for
smiling.
years.
Richie,
So
I'm smiling.
yeah,
Manchester United is what I'm
look,
smiling. They were
look,
down for years.
look
I'm
at
smiling now. I could
look,
smile
look at
because I'm
Tottenham
a.
now. Only reach top three. In that top three now. Look at that.
I'm a top three. I'm top three, and you know what I mean. So
Yeah,
I can smile now.
yeah.
You understand?
Things are
My
really
basketball team didn't make it. I'm sad, but I'm still
good.
supporting them. They
They
are
will
my
come back.
team.
They will
They'll bounce back next year. Is that was next year?
Rudy.
But those are the things we're talking about, right? In spite of it all, we have seen
Yeah.
these things. Things are
That's why I
sold
say
out.
no Rudy.
Teams are losing. Teams are getting blow out. You know, you go to watch a game and you're watching your team blow out, and you are seeing the
Yeah,
tears in the eyes of people, and the young people who love the team, who love the team. No more
yeah.
time people burn Manchester United jersey. No more time they burn LeBron James jersey. No more, and the minute again, bam, they
But
back
them
and buy
still
a
come
brand
back.
because in the moment they're upset. In the
Yeah,
moment they're upset because they are true fans. They
yeah.
are true fans and they're just disappointed. You understand me? So yet
But it's
we have
sports,
seen this
Rudy.
stuff, man.
It's sports, you know.
Yeah,
That's what sport you have to have winners and losers.
you
But if
have
you
to.
love
Yeah,
your team, is your team. That brought you
yeah,
to glory.
yeah.
So
And we
when
need
them lose,
and
you can't complain
and a
about the
part of
thing.
and listen and a part of that, Richie, we're talking about how do we get that to happen? How do we get our track and field to come in? We also depend on the fans. You know, the fans play a big role because sometimes the fans, as us, what we do, we are speaking out about it, we're hoping that change will come. And the same thing. If the fans is not in the watching, the game is not the
Yeah,
same.
Rudy.
Remember
But
during
listen,
the time
but let
of
me tell you this,
COVID.
Rudy.
Remember during the time of COVID, it wasn't the same. It was
Rudy,
not
let
the
me tell you
same.
this. I have seen something happening because I'm watching track and field a while now, and I see something happen, right? I see Usain Bolt came on the scene, and I see how track and field blow up big. As a matter of fact, Rudy, every single person in the 100 meters finals at the Olympics and at the World Championships during Usain Bolt time was running 9 seconds.
Yeah.
Women start everybody. You remember one time it's only 2 or 3 persons run 10 seconds for the women. In the field, everybody was running. Right now, see, Shania Douglas as a little schoolgirl running 10 seconds. That's how far the thing come right now.
It
So
comes. Yeah.
you see the profile of the sport can be risen if you put
But
something in the pot.
if you go back, Richie, and you ask her, who is our superstar, she'll tell you Usain Bolt.
Yeah, but the whole thing about it, Yudi, what I'm saying is that Usain Bolt came with a flavor, and the flavor raised the money. And because the money raised, so every single human, every single person out there, them paycheck raise, right? The prize money raised. So everybody now doing better because there is more money in the pot. You understand what I'm saying? When it was a little bit of money, people say, man, just perform. If him make the finals, if him,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
but
true.
every
Yeah.
single, just remember, everybody that came to the line when you're saying, but even if, Rudy, people run 9 seconds in the semi-finals and don't make the finals of World Championships.
Yeah.
Just to show you
Yeah.
all the thing that get miserable.
Yeah.
People run 9 seconds in them semi-finals and don't make the finals.
But even going back to that, not even the running, the fans, the people was involved. When Usain Bolt's era, people was there. They will spend
But fans must be
any
involved, Rudy, because the
money,
thing get
any money.
excited.
But I'm telling you,
The
any
thing get
money
excited,
for that,
because
and that
everybody stop
changed.
race.
And that changed track and field now. Now you see the same thing in track and field now. Because of Bolt, you see people coming to track and field meets. People are coming
That's
out.
what I'm saying.
People are supporting it. But the athletes are not getting nothing from it because the fans don't know that. They think it is athletes and them is getting big money. They
No,
think it is
Rudy,
athletes and they
the
getting big money.
fans know so them people are now get rich off of the thing. So there's
Yeah.
no hype with it. People know so no hype not there with it at all. Them know that. So nobody no hype for do nothing at all. Him a run. Him a run up and down, but him not do nothing. When him a walk out of the stadium, him a walk out and a take bus with you and go home same way. So no novelty, no that to him, none at all. There's
Not
nothing.
at all.
You understand? No, and that's where Jamaican sports have been coming from, me can remember going to stadium and watch some big football game, and you and the players them up on the bus and go home together. Enough
Going
for you,
home. Yep.
you know.
Yep. Yeah, let's see that. We see that already. We see me hear of guys
Yeah,
going to represent the country,
you
and when
understand?
they come back on the plane as they get off the plane, they're asking them for the uniform
Yeah,
for the country. They're asking them for the uniform. And I
yeah,
know somebody personally
you
who
know.
been through that. They're asking them for the uniform when they come on the plane.
Yeah,
So the
man,
sport and a whole come a very long
very
way.
far
The
away.
sport
Yeah,
come a very long way. And we cannot forget that and we cannot knock that down. But it is time for athletes to start. It is time for the athletes to start. Yeah. It's time to
Rudy.
start something for the athletes. Yeah.
Money has been made into the sport, and it's just like we're
Yeah.
talking the other day. We're talking about whether or not pen relay is
The,
valuable to
the
the
value is
high
there. Yeah.
school athletes anymore. It's not a value to them anymore. There's no value
No,
there,
no,
right?
there's no value.
There's no
No.
value. Them need to put something in it, some
Put
incentive in
some
it. So when the
that is
school
some
come home,
incentive.
them have something going
Yeah.
back home. A medal around your
Yeah.
neck is not a value.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not a
that's not
value
a value
anymore,
at all.
especially in this
And
era. The time is different now. We're seeing so much thing happening globally, and we hear it all the time in the Caribbean, where even a lot of these athletes and in schools and in clubs, and you listen to them and say, "What do you need?" They need equipments, they need this, and they need that. Even in schools, they need
it
running
costs
shoes,
money.
they need
It
spikes,
costs money.
but, and then the biggest one of all is nutrition. They need to
Yeah,
eat properly. They
it
need to
costs
stay
money.
healthy. It costs money, and if the
It
money is
costs
not in it,
money.
you go into a meet for what?
For a medal,
For a
it
plaque?
can't be for a
For a
medal.
plaque?
Yeah,
Not
man.
a
It
plaque.
can't be Rudy. That doesn't make
It can't be
sense.
no more. That
No,
make no sense.
mine,
If it's not, there's not something in it valuable. It's not. Yeah,
it doesn't make sense. So before
yeah,
before I leave Rudy, cause I know we're gonna pass an hour and thing. So and I want to thank all our fans who out there listen. And if you listen and you never chime in, boy, listen, man. Hey, every Monday we're going to be here 9 o'clock every night. So you better jump in. Yeah, you better jump in. I appreciate, you know, some of my friends. I can't even pronounce the name, but RN, for chiming in, and your points are valued and well taken. We
yeah,
appreciate that. So Sports Pulse on a Monday, right? You can find us on the Sportsglobe YouTube page, and you can find us many places. On our TikTok page, Instagram page, and things like that. But jump in, man. We're gonna have many conversation because we are fans of the sport. You
yeah,
know, and we like the sport, and especially track and field. I want to see that sport
yeah.
really grow, and I
We
want to
just
see
want to see it grow.
youngsters
We see we want
can
better.
get in it seriously.
Yeah, we want better. And what I really want for the sport is better. What I want for the
Yeah,
athletes is to certainly be to to make something out of it. Many sports all day is making a living, but the only sport that is not is track and field. Track and field is
yeah,
not
man.
making a living. A lot of these
No,
athletes and they cannot do nothing, so I mean, so certainly track and
yeah,
field.
man.
Coaches need to be paid the same way. A lot of coaches are not being paid. A lot of coaches is doing pro bono. And if you go back again in any professional sport,
Mm,
coaches are making some big money,
yeah,
very big money, right? So yeah,
Pele, etc. When France the what? Ooh, 98 campaign, homegrown players, alias were Topper, Blacker, Little Bibi, Pepe, and others. Yeah, which is true. But we need to do something for the people, man. I mean, Jamaica music and sports in Jamaica is what put Jamaica on the map. They need to spend some
yeah,
money there, you know. So I really appreciate it, Carla. But Rudy, this is my point before I go, is that I think World Athletics need to start to do some work because they're doing nothing. They're doing nothing. They're not promoting the sport. They're not doing anything. Right? They need to, as we say, maybe they need to be forming different leagues. Maybe they need to be organizing, countries to start having big track and field clubs, right? Maybe then, so that people can get paid. Maybe they need to start regulating the different federations. So federation, once you have a team, you start to pay the athletes that you have into your program. You select them for the
yeah,
national program, then you start
yeah.
to give them a salary. It might not be
A
big as the
salary.
club,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
start to give them something so that the
yeah,
sport and the players of the sport can become professionally paid. Because it is so sad that I would work my ass off for 10 years for my country. And at the end of the day, right, I'm going to come back
Nothing
home,
to show for it.
sit down, and have
Nothing
nothing
to
to
show
show
for it.
for it. And Rudy,
Yeah.
I can tell you, in Jamaica, I have seen it so much time. Them thing that
Well, I've seen
almost
it all
brought
over.
people to
It's a
tears.
Caribbean. It's a Caribbean globally. I've seen it here in Canada for the time I've been here. Being in Grenada, seen it in the other islands. I was affected. Being a coach with an athlete
Yeah.
from a different federation. Who've been through the exact same thing. We have seen it. It is happening, and my take is the federation need to step up. How they do it, either government need to start getting involved in some of the federations, some way somehow to see that the citizen of that country, which is the athletes,
Yeah.
is being taken care of. Is somehow government need to step up and play a role, not a role of decision making, but a role to see to it that the citizen, which is the athletes who is representing the country, can be taken care of. And it's starting to be that government should have a budget in the year, a budget that could take care of those athletes, because when they go there, the country is getting the name.
Yeah.
You know, when you hear of it, Jamaica, when the prime minister leave and go to another country, they come ship him. Man, Houston Bolt did so well. The track and field did so well. He's picking up the glory in another
Yeah.
country for the
He's
athletes
selling
that
it.
who have
He's
not
selling
get
it.
anything from him.
Yeah.
He's going out there and getting the glory. They're giving him the handshake because of some of these world athletes. Because those athletes have done well, and the athletes on a whole don't get something. You know, and we have seen. Don't get me wrong. We have
Mhm.
seen what happened in St. Lucia. We have seen what happened in Dominica. You know, they get their first Olympic medals, and you have seen what it did for them. But they come back to the same thing. Yes, you did a one-time thing. You give them a gift, might be a house, land, car,
But
keys
that's
to
a
the country.
gift.
Those type of things.
That's
That's
a gift,
gift.
Rudy. You get the man
And
a
that's what I'm
house.
saying.
You have to go take
I
care of
will
the
see
house,
them
you know.
again. Yes,
You have to
gift.
go take
But
care of the
are they?
house.
Or are they on a salary? Are they? Do you have
No.
them on a yearly salary? As long as they're competing within that year, that they're
This is
getting something as
Rudy.
small as it is.
This
It's
is
something
another
that can
thing.
help them.
This is another
Yeah.
thing I hear a lot of people talking about. A lot of people talking about, and especially they're talking about. I hear a lot of these comments coming out of Jamaica, especially from the administrative people. They're talking about how Jamaica spend all of this money and bring the athlete up to this standard, and then a country just come take them away. Garbage. Rudy,
Yeah.
let me tell you this. Make I tell you this. Fundamentally, you pay your taxes and government spend your money. You hear what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
pay your taxes and government spend your money. Government now have no money. You pay your taxes and government spend your money. So in essence, whatever your money is doing for this high school or this primary school or this prep school is not a government money. It's not a government funding. It's not like government go get money from somewhere and fund. You give the government your money and say, listen, I want you to structure my money to take care of my business. So government can't be talking about, oh, because that's what I'm saying about these athletes. And so government spend a lot of money on them and all that nonsense.
No.
You say if the fans were complaining, Rudy, I would have said I wouldn't have to say this.
Yeah,
But the
but
fans are not
Richie.
complaining. The fans are seeing the disgrace
Yeah.
and the shamefulness that come down to the athlete when them done the sport and him come back to Jamaica, big superstar, and him a walk go half a tree, go catch a bus.
You
Big
know,
superstar.
and we've seen it, and we've seen athletes who is first or who is from the country and they're walking around and people don't even know they're Olympians
That's what I'm
unless they
saying.
don't get so I'm just saying that you get to the highest level in sports and you have to work to get it. You have to work to get there
Yeah,
to the highest level in sports.
yeah,
The absolute highest level in sports is the
yeah.
Olympic Games.
Worldwide,
There's
you know.
nothing beyond.
Worldwide, you know, Rudy.
Globally, there's
Worldwide.
nothing beyond. There's nothing beyond the
Yeah,
Olympic Games. It stopped at the Olympic Games. Basketball players want to get there. They
yeah,
want to get there. In spite of how much money they're making, their bucket list is going to the Olympics.
yeah, man.
And you have that. No, they talk about government doing this. You got to understand the Pan Am Games is separate from government.
Yeah.
The the Olympic body is separate from government. The
Hmm.
only thing that's tying with government is the Ministry of Sports.
Yeah.
That is part of the government. The
And
other
this is
part
your money,
is separate, and that is your money. The
and
other
that's
part
your
is
money.
separate. So the Pan Am is getting funded, the Olympic
Yeah.
is getting funded, and then you have to see that it is time for the athletes to be at least being.
Hey, tell us, hey, Aaron. That at least knows I run too. That at least knows I run too long. It's to run off. Hey, Rudy, listen. Aaron, we appreciate it, man. Thanks for chiming in.
Certainly,
We
man.
love what
Certainly,
you're
man.
saying, Rudy.
Yes.
You know, we need to get the sport better served, right? The sport need
Yeah.
for the money need for go around to everybody.
Richie, just before we
Everybody
go,
need to be a part of it.
there is something that might be having a lockout this year. I think it's either hockey or either
Hmm.
baseball. Somebody's having a lockout because there is some issues financially. So there might be a lockout if they don't put it together. So as much as how much money they're making,
Yeah,
they're gonna put themselves in a position where they will have none of the sports this upcoming season after the season
the
done.
the
Because if
unionize,
it's not coming, because they unionize.
the
So there will be
unionize.
a lockout.
Track and
So
field
if
need to be
it so track
unionized.
and field need to be in a situation to say
The
no, we're
athletes
not
need to get
coming,
together.
we're not running at no meet, we're not doing at this, we're not
Yeah,
doing that, we're not doing nothing
clean
like
up
that.
right.
And they put it, but we want to see good quality meats globally. We want to see some of the businessmen and women out there who have the funding. If funding is an issue, and if funding is what they claim they probably don't have, then business out there is the same business that's sponsoring the basketball, sponsoring the hockey. Big companies are major sponsors. Banks
Just
and those things are major
volunteer.
sponsors,
Yeah, man. It is
right?
there. The
Yeah.
money is out
So
there,
so all
Rudy.
those so money is out there. We have seen the money
Yeah.
is out there for them to do a lot of foolishness. Man want to go to space and play now how much money to go in space and do what? You understand? They're gonna do what in space? And they're spending all kind of million of dollars when all track and field need is like one.
Yeah.
You
Just
put one into this now, 1 million. Think about
yeah,
it.
that's
You get a track, you have a track and field meet, you have a few outlets, you give one
yeah,
million dollars that can help the guys in them to coming in to get a 1 million.
can
One
help a
million US
youngster.
dollars. And it
Can
could
help a
help.
youngster with a career,
It could
Rudy.
help a youngster with that.
With a career.
And
Yeah.
many, you could help 10 youngsters to
Yes.
start up. You understand, man?
Yeah,
So
man.
so that certainly, like I said, my thing again, Richie, the problem I have in with track and field in the Caribbean is the federations is not looking out for the athletes as they should. And
Yeah,
if
they're
I
not.
go further, some of the countries, some of the governments are not
Mhm.
looking out for the athletes as they should be looking out for, which put them in a position to either drop out from the sport. Jamaica is big. The numbers is 10 times other islands in the Caribbean. So
Yeah.
the amount of people that they have compared to other islands, you can get a slew of
Yeah.
athletes. Compared to smaller islands, you can get two on a tree. And when you have the two on the tree, you don't take care of them.
Yeah.
We had a young girl from St. Vincent, Maloney, had to she wasn't complaining. A question was asked to realize that as the best in the country
Yeah.
and the best NCAA, she was struggling. She almost was homeless. You guess what I'm saying? And if that didn't come out what you say, and then things that happening, Federation, where are you when you select athletes, when you identify athletes to represent you in that season? You should be saying, we're going to take care of you in
Yeah.
whichever manner you would like to. That's what I would like to see. Federations need to step up. World Athletics need to step up. We need to have a reset in the sport and for things to change. Thank
Yeah.
you, man.
I'm gonna leave my last thing. And since you said all of that, Rudy, the athletes themselves need to step up. They need to get themselves into a union situation where they can be represented at the table. The table can be there and the athletes are not there. So everybody's making decisions for them, but they never be making decisions for themselves. So they need to get off of the individual thing that them on and they need to form themselves in a athlete body, a unionized body, to which they can have good representation at the table of discussion when it is their sport. So
In this sport.
getting yourself together, it can be new, it can be old. you just need to have an athletic federation or something that represents the athletes. That's what you guys need to do because only getting left out of the professionalism. Everybody else is making money apart from the athletes. So the need for forming yourself in a group and get together and get to the table because without you guys, there is no sport. The sport can't work. And if you're not at the table making the decisions for yourself, then you're always going to be having the decisions made for you. And the decision that is going to be made for you is going to be the one that you get the crumbs of the table because you're not at the table. So anyway, Sports Globe,
Yes, certainly. Sports
Sports
Globe.
Pulse Live
Thank you for
was
Sports Pulse
nice and
Live tonight.
fiery
It
today.
was nice.
I
Yes,
want to
yes, it was.
thank
Yeah,
all our people who chime in. Aaron,
yes.
love what you say. Everybody who did it and I listen. Hey, listen, man, I don't need for sending the comments in because it was
Hmm.
a great conversation. I love it, Rudy.
Yes, yes, yes,
Appreciate it.
yes. No,
Wish
most
all.
definitely. Listen, next week we're gonna have something again. We have something fiery. We have something big. Tune
Yeah,
in, look out for what's coming. And we appreciate everything, man. Sports Pulse Live. Thank you for coming and joining us tonight.
we appreciate it. All right.